Welcome to Solar Age, the podcast that shines a light on the path to a brighter, more sustainable future. Join us as we explore the transformative power of technology in creating a Solarpunk world.
Hey Solar Age listeners, ready for another deep dive? This time we're going to be talking about some battery breakthroughs that honestly have me pretty hyped for the future. We're talking electric vehicles that can go further than ever before. Charge up in the time it takes to grab a coffee. And guess what? It's all using readily available materials. Got a couple articles and a YouTube video here, and I think you guys are going to be really interested in this stuff.
Yeah, it's like all these pieces are starting to come together, Really exciting time for clean energy and that whole Solarpunk future we're all working toward.
Totally. All right, so let's dive right in. One of these articles, it's talking about this battery called the Shenxing PLUS, made by a company called CATL. Now, get this. This battery is boasting a range of over 1,000 kilometers.
That's wild.
I know, right? Think about it. That's like driving from Beijing to Nanjing on a single charge. And that's double or even triple the range of a lot of electric vehicles out there right now.
Yeah, and what's crazy is they're doing this with LFP chemistry, lithium iron phosphate.
Okay, so for our listeners who aren't battery experts, break that down for us. What's so special about that?
So you usually have LFP batteries, which are cheaper than the NMC batteries, nickel, manganese, cobalt. Those are the more expensive ones. But LFP, they've always had this lower energy density. But CATL, they seem to have figured out a way around that.
Okay, so how do they manage that? Feels like magic, honestly.
It's pretty ingenious, that's for sure. So they came up with this 3D honeycomb structure for the anode, and what that does is it lets them pack more energy into the battery without making it bigger. They're also using this thing called granular gradation technology. Basically, it makes sure all the materials inside the battery are arranged in this perfect way to maximize storage capacity.
So are you telling me these LFP batteries can now compete with the pricier NMC batteries when it comes to how much energy they can hold, but for way less money?
Exactly. I think this could really shake things up for electric vehicles. I mean, EVs could become a lot more accessible for people who, maybe couldn't afford them before. It's a big deal.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about how long it takes to charge these things. We're talking 4C super fast charging with this battery.
4C?
Yeah, so for everyone listening, what that means is you can get your battery up to 80% in about 10 minutes. Think about that. You can get 600 kilometers of range just by, popping into the store for a snack. No more worrying about running out of juice on the road. No more hanging out at charging stations forever.
It really changes the game, and the tech behind it is pretty cool. So CATL has developed this new lithium-ion conductive coating. Basically, it allows for much faster energy transfer within the battery. And they've redesigned the battery terminals, too. That helps with getting rid of heat during charging, especially when you're charging that fast. And they're even using AI to manage the whole charging process, make sure it's both fast and safe.
Okay, so now imagine this. We've got these awesome batteries, right? Pair that with readily available solar energy. You could charge your electric car at home using your own solar panels, or maybe at a charging station powered by the sun. Takes just a few minutes. That's getting pretty close to that Solarpunk world we all dream about.
For sure. It's a big step towards energy independence. And it's a much more decentralized energy system, which is what we need.
Exactly. Now, we're not done yet. This YouTube video we have goes into another really interesting development. It could be even bigger for our Solarpunk future. We're talking about sodium-ion batteries.
Ah, sodium-ion. Yeah, now things are getting interesting.
So, fill us in. What's the deal with these sodium-ion batteries? Why are they such a big deal?
Well, you see, lithium, it's great, but it's not the easiest thing to get a hold of, not super abundant, and there are, some ethical and environmental issues around how it's mined. Sodium, though, sodium's everywhere. It's in seawater, it's in the Earth's crust, it's cheap, it's easy to get, much more sustainable.
Okay, so could these sodium-ion batteries be the answer? Could they be what finally makes energy storage sustainable and affordable for everyone?
They have the potential. Now, it's still early days, but researchers believe sodium-ion could actually overtake lithium-ion in the future. More energy density, even lower cost.
Okay, that's huge, especially for everyone here at Solar Age, who are all about a future that's better for everyone, not just a select few. If energy storage isn't holding us back anymore, think about how much faster we can transition to clean energy.
I know, right? It's like this missing piece of the puzzle is finally clicking into place.
Okay, so I'm picturing a city powered by a network of these sodium-ion batteries, everything running on clean energy.
Yeah.
It's the dream, right? And this video mentioned something else too, sodium-sulfur batteries. What are those all about?
Sodium sulfur, yeah. They're a different approach to energy storage. Pretty wild, actually. They use molten salt technology.
Salt.
Yeah, molten salt. So you have these liquid sodium and sulfur electrodes that actually generate electricity. It's pretty cool. And these batteries have some big advantages. They're super safe, no risk of thermal runaway, which is a big problem with lithium-ion batteries. They also last way longer.
Sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a downside, right?
Well, yeah, they don't have as much energy density, so they're better for things that stay in one place, like grid-scale energy storage. Not really for EVs.
Got it. So maybe not powering our cars, but still super important for making that Solarpunk energy grid a reality.
Totally. They're all about making sure the grid is stable and reliable, especially as we switch to more solar and wind power, which aren't always available. Sodium-sulfur batteries could be crucial.
Wow, this is all pretty mind-blowing stuff. We're talking about completely changing how we power our world, ditching the fossil fuels and embracing a clean energy future. And it's all happening now.
I know, right? And these battery technologies are a big part of that. It's a pretty exciting time to be working on this stuff. Thinking about these sodium-ion batteries, it really strikes me how well they fit in with the whole Solarpunk philosophy. It's not just about the tech itself, but like the potential they have for changing how we get our energy, making it more decentralized, more equitable.
Totally. It's like this tech could be the key to finally breaking away from those big centralized power grids and moving towards something much more community-focused, right?
Exactly. Imagine a world where instead of being reliant on those huge power plants and all those transmission lines, communities could just generate and manage their own energy locally. Sodium-ion batteries, with them being so affordable and using materials that are readily available, could make that a reality.
Okay, paint me a picture here. What would this look like for like a Solar Age listener living in a neighborhood?
Let's say you have a street where a bunch of the houses have solar panels. Now picture each house also having a sodium-ion battery system. During the day, the panels are soaking up that sunlight, charging the batteries, and then as the sun sets, each home seamlessly draws power from their own storage, basically becoming their own little power station. No more reliance on those big energy companies, no more worries about grid outages.
Wow, that's a really powerful image. It's like each house becomes this self-sufficient energy hub. And then if you scale that up to a whole neighborhood, you could create these localized microgrids, right?
That's exactly it. You could have homes interconnected, sharing excess energy with each other, creating this resilient, self-sustaining energy ecosystem. Imagine the sense of community and empowerment that would create. It's truly in line with the Solarpunk vision of a more sustainable and interconnected future.
Yeah, it's not just about the tech, it's about changing how people relate to their energy, bringing power back to the people, literally.
And it's important to remember that this isn't just some utopian dream. The building blocks are already here. We're seeing community solar projects popping up everywhere, neighbors coming together to invest in renewable energy systems. We're seeing advancements in virtual power plants where homes with solar and storage can act as a coordinated network. These battery breakthroughs are that missing piece that could really accelerate this transition in a big way.
I love it. Okay, Solar Age listeners out there, how do you see this kind of localized, sodium-powered future playing out in your own lives? Would you feel more secure knowing that your energy needs are being met by your community? Would it change how you interact with your neighbors? Leave us a comment and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear your vision.
Yeah, definitely. The future of energy is being shaped right now, and it's a conversation we all need to be a part of.
For sure. And while we're on the topic of dreaming big, I want to go back to something we touched on earlier, those sodium-sulfur batteries. Now, they might not be powering our electric vehicles, but they seem to have a pretty big role to play in this whole transition to renewables.
They absolutely do. Remember, these batteries are really well suited for that large-scale stationary energy storage. Think about those giant solar farms or wind farms pumping out tons of power during peak hours. Sodium-sulfur batteries could be like these massive sponges soaking up all that excess energy and then releasing it back to the grid when demand is high, like in the evenings.
So they're like the unsung heroes of the clean energy revolution, quietly working behind the scenes to make sure we have a stable and reliable energy supply, even when the sun's not shining and the wind's not blowing.
That's a great way to put it. They're crucial for tackling one of the biggest challenges with renewable energy sources intermittency. By providing that reliable, long-lasting storage solution, Sodium-sulfur batteries can smooth out those fluctuations in energy generation and make sure there's a consistent flow of power to our homes and businesses.
That's a really important point because in a world that's relying more and more on renewable energy, having that kind of robust storage capacity is essential. It's not just about generating the clean energy, it's about being able to store it and distribute it effectively.
Exactly. And think about the impact on grid resilience. With extreme weather events becoming more common, having a decentralized grid with distributed storage can make our communities much more resilient to disruptions. Imagine a localized energy system with sodium-sulfur batteries strategically placed to keep the lights on even during major outages.
That brings us back to that core Solarpunk idea of resilience, doesn't it?
Oh.
It's not just about creating a future that's beautiful and sustainable. It's about creating a future that can handle whatever challenges come our way.
Absolutely. And in a world facing so much climate uncertainty, that kind of resilience becomes even more crucial. These battery breakthroughs aren't just technological advancements. They're tools for building a more adaptable and resilient future for all of us.
I'm curious for our Solar Age listeners out there, how do you envision this kind of energy resilient future playing out in your own communities? What role do you see these batteries playing in making your lives more secure and sustainable? Share your thoughts and ideas in the comments below, because this is a conversation we need to have together.
Right. Ultimately, the future we create is a collective effort. And the more we engage with these ideas, the better equipped we'll be to shape that future in a way that benefits everyone.
And on that note, let's shift gears a bit and talk about how these battery breakthroughs are already impacting the world around us.
It's easy to get caught up in all this talk about new tech and think it's all way off in the future, but the truth is, it's already happening.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing when you realize these innovations aren't just ideas, they're being developed and put to use right now. It's like we're watching that Solarpunk future unfold right in front of us.
I know, right? Like that Shenxing PLUS battery we were talking about, CATL, is already saying they'll be getting it to car makers by the end of the year. So that means pretty soon we could actually see electric cars on the road with ranges over 1,000 kilometers and super fast charging.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And that's just one example. The research on sodium-ion batteries is moving so fast. Companies and research labs all over the world are putting tons of resources into developing and scaling up this technology. We really are on the edge of a massive energy revolution.
It's a pretty amazing time to be alive, don't you think? It feels like we're right at the beginning of this whole new era where clean and affordable energy is finally within reach for everyone.
Absolutely. And what's really inspiring is that this shift doesn't just benefit those of us in developed countries. It has the potential to help communities all around the world who haven't had reliable access to energy.
That's such an important point. Think about the impact this could have on developing countries where getting electricity is still a huge challenge. Affordable, decentralized energy storage using materials like sodium that are easy to get could be a total game changer.
Imagine like a rural village in India where people have always relied on kerosene lamps or noisy diesel generators for power. Now picture that village with a solar-powered microgrid, giving them clean energy for lighting, for cooking, even for running small businesses. It would completely transform their lives and give them so many more opportunities.
Exactly. It's about more than just the technology. It's about empowering these communities, making things fair, and creating a world that's better for everyone. That's what makes the Solarpunk vision so powerful. It's a vision that sees how interconnected we all are and aims to create a future that works for all of humanity, not just a lucky few.
It's a vision that combines technological innovation with a deep understanding of social and environmental justice. It recognizes that a truly sustainable future has to be fair and inclusive.
And as we look ahead, it's a vision that fills me with hope. Hope that we can overcome the challenges we face. Hope that we can build a world where everyone has access to clean energy, and hope that we can create a future that's more resilient and just for all the generations to come.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the incredible world of battery breakthroughs, I want to leave you, our Solar Age listeners, with a final thought. How do you see these advancements shaping your lives in that Solarpunk future we're all striving for? What possibilities do they open up for you, your community, and the world? What would having better, cheaper batteries mean for you? Share your vision with us in the comments below, because this future is a story we write together.
Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and stay hopeful. The future is bright and it's powered by all of us.
Thanks for tuning in to the Solar Age podcast, everyone.
If you enjoyed this episode of The Solar Age, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you won't miss any future episodes. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below about what resonated with you or share any ideas you'd like us to explore in upcoming episodes. Let's keep the conversation about a brighter future going.